Hello, this is eSpin Adam. We're happy to assist you with the upcoming presentation. Let us know if you need any help, and we'll be glad to be of service. Cybersecurity Specialist Training Program, Ethical Hacking and Penetration Testing. Ethical hacking and penetration testing play a critical role in protecting an organization's assets by proactively identifying vulnerabilities and ensuring that security defenses are tested against real-world attack scenarios in the right way, at the right time, and with the right methodologies. Here are the 3 subtopics and key takeaways from this Day 2 training program. 1. Understanding the cyber kill chain. The 7 steps of the cyber kill chain include reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, and actions on objectives, while MITRE ATT and CK fills in the details of how each step can happen. Cyber kill chain is a model created to explain the steps an attacker takes to carry out a cyber attack. Here are the key takeaways. Reconnaissance, step 1 of the cyber kill chain, information gathering stage. Before an attacker tries to break into a system, they first study and observe the target to understand weaknesses. 1. Passive reconnaissance. The attacker gathers information without directly touching the system. They look at what is already public, like company's website, job postings, and employees' social media profiles. Example, an attacker sees a company job ad saying, "We are hiring a Linux server administrator with AWS cloud experience." From this, they already know the company uses Linux servers and AWS cloud. 2. Active reconnaissance. The attacker tests the system directly to find weak spots. They may try to see which ports are open, what software versions are running, or if any test sites exist. Example, an attacker scans the company's website and discovers a test subdomain like test.company.com. Often, test systems are not well protected and can become an easy way in. Weaponization, step 2 of the cyber kill chain, stage where the attacker creates or prepares a tool that can take advantage of the target's weaknesses. How weaponization works. Weaponization works in way. 1. Attacker identifies a weakness. Company is running an outdated version of a web browser. 2. Attacker builds or customizes a tool to exploit that weakness. This could be a virus hidden inside a PDF file, or a piece of code designed to crash the outdated browser and let them in. 3. The weapon is not yet used. At this stage, the weapon is prepared, but not delivered. Delivery, step 3 of the cyber kill chain, stage where the attacker sends or places the prepared weapon, such malicious file, code, or tool into the target's environment. Common delivery methods. Attackers can deliver weapons in many ways, such as 1. Email attachments, which sending a malicious file disguised as a report, invoice, or resume. 2. Links to websites, which tricking the victim into clicking a link that downloads harmful code. 3. USB drives or external devices, which dropping infected USBs in parking lots, hoping someone picks one up and plugs it into their computer. 4. Web applications or downloads, which hiding malware in, free software, cracked games, or fake updates. 5. Direct network delivery, which sending the attack through exposed services like open ports. Exploitation, step 4 of the cyber kill chain, stage where the attacker activates the weapon they delivered and takes advantage of a weakness in the target system. How exploitation happens. Exploitation works by using a vulnerability, a weakness, in the target. Common ways this happens include 1. Malicious file execution, which victim opens a file Word or PDF or Excel that secretly runs harmful code. 2. Clicking a malicious link, which victim clicks a fake link that triggers an exploit in their browser. 3. Weak passwords, which attacker guesses or cracks a simple password like 123456. 4. Unpatched software, which old programs that haven't been updated allow attackers to run code inside them. 5. Social engineering success, which convincing someone to enable macros in a file or share login details. Installation, step 5 of the cyber kill chain, stage where the attacker, after successfully exploiting a system, installs malicious software, malware, to maintain a foothold inside the victim's environment. How installation works: attackers install different types of malware depending on their goals. Way 1. Backdoors, which hidden entry points that let the attacker re-enter the system whenever they want. 2. Remote access Trojans, which programs that give attackers full control over the victim's computer from far away. 3. Keyloggers, which software that records everything of victim types, like usernames and passwords. 4. Rootkits, which tools that hide the attacker's presence, making them hard to detect. 5. Persistence mechanisms, which settings or scripts that make sure the malware runs again even after a system restart. Command control, step 6 of the cyber kill chain, stage where the attacker, after install malware, creates a communication channel between the attacker's computer or server and the victim's system. How command control works: command control works in ways. 1. Malware connects back to attacker. Malicious software installed earlier secretly reaches out to the attacker's server over the internet. 2. Secure communication. Channel often looks like normal internet traffic, so it is harder to detect. 3. Commands sent. Attacker tells the malware what to do, such as download more malware, search for files, capture keystrokes. 4. Data sent back. Victim's system sends stolen files, passwords, or screenshots back to the attacker through the same channel. Actions on objectives, step 7 of the cyber kill chain, final stage of the cyber kill chain. At this point, the attacker has entered the system, installed malware, established communication. Now, they finally carry out their main goal, which could be stealing sensitive data, destroying or altering information. There are common objectives of attackers in way 1. Data theft, which stealing customer information, credit card numbers, or intellectual property. 2. Financial gain, which demanding ransomware attacks, or secretly mining cryptocurrency. 3. Espionage, which spying on competitors, governments, or organizations. 4. Sabotage, which disabling critical systems, deleting files, or shutting down services. 5. Spreading further, which using one compromised system to attack other connected systems. MITRE ATTCK framework is big library of hacker behaviors created by a non-profit research organization called MITRE. ATTCK stands for Adversarial Tactics, Techniques, and Common Knowledge. Key points of MITRE ATTCK, which 1. Tactics, the why, attackers' goals, like getting in, staying hidden, or stealing data. 2. Techniques, the how, specific methods used to achieve those goals. Example, under initial access, a technique is phishing, sending fake emails to trick users. 3. Based on reality, every tactic and technique comes from real-world cyber attacks that have been studied. 2. Web application security and OWASP top 10. There are common attack techniques that target weaknesses in web applications, which SQL injection, XSS, CSRF, IDOR, SSRF. Web application security is about protecting websites and online applications from attacks and misuse, while OWASP stands for Open Worldwide Application Security Project. Here are the key takeaways: common attack techniques. SQL injection, type of security vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries an application makes to its database. Attacker success SQL injection in ways: 1. View sensitive data, which attacker can trick the database into show information it should not reveal. 2. Modify or delete database contents, which attacker could change account balances, update product prices, or delete entire customer records. 3. Bypass login mechanisms, which attackers can manipulate login forms to skip authentication. 4. Gain full control of the web server, which allow attackers to execute system-level commands, not just database queries. 5. Execute further attacks on connected systems, which attackers control the database or server, they can use it as a stepping stone to attack other systems. Cross-site scripting, XSS, type of vulnerability found in many web applications. XSS allows attackers to inject malicious scripts, usually JavaScript, into pages that are viewed by other users. There are three main types of XSS. 1. Stored XSS, which malicious code is saved in the database. Every time someone visits that page, the script runs automatically, ID dangerous because it affects many users over time. 2. Reflected XSS, which malicious script is part of a link, URL, and only works when the user clicks it. Attacker sends an email with a link that includes script code. When the victim clicks, the script runs, works only once per visit, not saved in the website. 3. DOM-based XSS, which happens on the client-side browser when the website's JavaScript code handles user input in an insecure way. This type is harder to detect and depends on how the page updates content without reloading. Cross-site request forgery, CSRF, attack that tricks a logged-in user into performing an action they didn't intend to, by exploiting the trust that a website has in the user's browser. There are key conditions that make CSRF work, such as 1. User is already logged into the target website. CSRF relies on the fact that the victim has an active session on the target website. 2. Site uses cookies or other session data automatically included in requests. Browsers automatically attach cookies, like session IDs, to requests sent to a website. 3. Site doesn't verify if the action was intentionally initiated by user. Vulnerability exists when the website does not confirm whether the request came directly from the user. Insecure Direct Object Reference, IDOR, type of access control vulnerability. It occurs when an application exposes a reference to an internal object and allows users to manipulate it without proper authorization checks. Step-by-step breakdown include 1. Understand how the web app works, which explore how the application uses IDs, parameters, or object references in its URLs or requests. 2. Testing for IDOR, which explore how the application uses IDs, parameters, or object references in its URLs or requests. 3. Analyze why it happens, which application assumes that if a user knows the object ID, they are allowed to access it. For exploit potential, which attackers can view, modify, or delete other users' data. Server-side request forgery, SSRF, vulnerability where an attacker tricks the server into making requests to internal or external systems that the attacker shouldn't have access to. Attackers success SSRF in ways. 1. Access internal services that are not publicly exposed. With SSRF, attackers can force the server to connect to databases, admin panels, or cloud. 2. Steal sensitive information, such as cloud credentials, PI keys, or configuration files. 3. Perform unauthorized actions on behalf of the server, such as sending requests to other systems. 4. Pivot into the internal network to map infrastructure and identify further attack targets. 5. Potentially achieve remote code execution, escalate privileges within the environment. This usually happens when the SSRF vulnerability is combined with another weakness, such as a misconfigured service. 3. Penetration testing methodologies. Reconnaissance, scanning, enumeration, and exploitation are all key steps within penetration testing methodologies. They represent the core phases where testers move from learning about a system to probing it to digging deeper to breaking in. Penetration testing, or pen test, is a simulated cyber attack carried out by ethical hackers to find weaknesses in a system before real attackers do. Here are the key takeaways. Reconnaissance, also known as information gathering or footprinting, which the first and foundational phase of penetration testing. During this phase, ethical hackers or penetration testers collect as much information as possible about a target, system, network, or organization, before attempt to exploit any vulnerabilities. There are two types of reconnaissance, which, 1. Passive reconnaissance, which, before touching the network, ethical hacker involves collecting information without directly interacting with the target. They remains invisible to the target, leaving no traces.
Second, search for employee details on LinkedIn. Attackers often use this for phishing.
2. Active reconnaissance, which involves direct interaction with the target system. Attacker actually touches the system by sending data packets, running scans, or logging into services. Second, more likely to be detected by security systems.
Attacker is directly communicating with the target system. Scanning, the second phase of penetration testing after reconnaissance. In this phase, the tester gathers more detailed information about the target system using automated tools. Types of scanning are 1.
Port scanning, which identifies which ports on a target system are open and listening.
This helps reveal what services or applications are running.
2. Network scanning, which discovers active devices on the network, including IP addresses, hostnames, operating systems, and network topology. 3. Vulnerability scanning, which uses scanning tools and vulnerability databases to detect known security flaws in systems, applications, or services. Enumeration, process of actively connecting to a target system to gather more detailed information about its resources and shares. This is a critical step after scanning, where an ethical hacker tries to identify valid accounts, open shares, and potential attack vectors within the system or network.
Goals of enumeration are 1. Find valid usernames and password policies. Attackers try to identify user accounts that exist on the system. They may also learn about password requirements. 2. Discover network shares. Network shares are folders or drives made accessible across a network. 3. Identify running services and versions. Reveals what services are running: web servers, FTP, SSH, and their version numbers. Knowing the exact version allows attackers to research known vulnerabilities for that service.
4. Determine system names and roles. Attackers try to uncover host names and understand the role of each system, file server, domain controller, and database server. 5. Uncover application or OS vulnerabilities. Final step in enumeration is to map findings to known security weaknesses. This bridges the gap between information gathering and the exploitation phase. Exploitation phase in a penetration test where the ethical hacker actively uses identified vulnerabilities to gain unauthorized access or control over a target system, application, or network. The goal is to determine the real-world impact of the vulnerability. What happens during exploitation? 1. Tester takes advantage of known security flaws. Once vulnerabilities are identified, testers attempt to use them to break into the system. 2. Payloads may be delivered to compromised systems. A payload is a piece of code or instruction sent to the target to perform an action once the vulnerability is triggered. 3. Testers may attempt to escalate privileges. Testers then try to escalate privileges to gain administrator or root access, which gives full control. For evidence of successful access is collected, such as command execution, file access, or user credentials, they may take screenshots, logs, or file samples to show they could have stolen data, but they don't actually damage or steal it. Thank you for watching our presentation. We hope it was valuable and informative. For questions, contact us at info@espencorp.com or visit our website. Thank you again and have a great day.